The interview with Tian Yu Cao is beginning now. Tian Yu, nice to see you again. And what I would like to ask you, first of all, a little bit about what happened in your early life when you were imprisoned in the Cultural Revolution at that time. Can you tell us something about that?
Oh, hi, Professor. Nice to see you again. And I met you more than 30 years ago. And you asked my difficult question. And I was a student in Beijing University
Yes.
studying philosophy. And because of some reason that is no reason at all, that was no reason at all, I was criticized as a reactionary student and put in the late camp as some prison for many years from 1964 until 1979. So that was a difficult time. But even during that time, I tried hard to get some chance to study a little bit of English and physics and mathematics.
Yes. And then you wrote something in prison, I think, about quantum field theory, which you sent to Cambridge to work with Professor Hesse.
Oh yeah, that's true. But that's quite precise because my engineer is accomplished engineer several stages. The last stage of my prosecution was from 1973 to 1979. I was in fact parole. I was put in a situation similar to the house arrest. I cannot get out. I was guarded by the red guard at their home. So I can read as mathematics and physics. That is the case for 1973 to 1979. Before that, I was in the field, not a lab camp, but in the solitary confinement. During the period of 1933 to 1959, I tried to study physics and mathematics, going up to quantum mechanics, quantum field theory, and through the why I began to get involved in gauge field and high energy physics, in particular about the quantum instance. Then, from 1977, my institute was shifted to research about the normalization. I think in order to understand the quantum field theory, the normalization is a very different condition of understanding. And the interest led many things by fast and by some. I don't use I understood them. There was a particular situation that is how can I get the materials?
Oh, yes.
That's the important. Because at that time, my brother, and now my brother, he married a lady, and his brother's law is a professor of the United States medicine. So I asked my brother, and he asked her brother's law, said many details of that child. Because after 1975, U.S.-China relationship was improved, so something can be done for that. That is the material source. Yeah, I have enough time because I don't have the freedom, so I study.
Oh, yeah.
And
how do you, and how about your language, of course? How did you learn the English language? You had
my
some.
English, my English now is still very poor, but the way I never received any education. I learned English because I was eager to read the prison. So I tried to memorize some vocabulary. I bought a very simple grammar book so that I know some basic grammar rules. So I can read struggle because I have enough time and confidence. I can read the books in English English sentence convey what I just said. I still remember I said my research plan, how to study the normalization, I said data actually normalization. My plan is to like build a theory or something. Yeah, I can write in a very simplistic way.
And what were your impression of Cambridge when you got there? What was your
I
impression?
got that, but I was lucky. I get it. No, at first I received a letter from that Professor Mary Hedges. She said that in case you don't have you have nothing, you have to send us two papers. One is about the philosophy science in general. The other is more closely related to your research plan. So that's I received this the early December of 82. And she said you have to send your kids back by by 7 days. I forgot exactly, roughly 3 weeks time. So I have struggled very hard to complete two papers so that I can send it. But when I finish that paper, I have to ask my wife because we don't have pipeline. My wife is a very small character, but when I tried to get it to post office, I was not allowed because you cannot cannot allow to send abroad. So actually, afterwards, my wife asked a friend, not all this again, to the Hong Kong, from Hong Kong sent to Cambridge. Luckily, Professor Mary has received it time before the competition. So after she received that, for whatever reason, they offered me they accepted. I would accept.
Oh yes.
Then, yeah,
Well, now after that you went to All Souls and Wolfson College in Oxford and the Institute of Advanced Studies at Princeton and so on, and now you're at Boston University, and you made a special study of rather technical developments in theoretical physics, particularly in 1999 you had this big meeting of all the philosophers and lots of interested people came along and you spoke to it and that was very successful I think. And then you introduced another book in 2012, which was you called it a case for structural realism. What I would like to ask you about, uh, what in your view is, you call it constructive structural realism, allows entities to be viewed via structure. And I was wondering, what's your argument against the ontic version of structural realism, of people like French and Lederman, for example, and can you explain your own version to us?
nothing. That's the question that is the core of my attention over the last 30 years. Let's spend a few more minutes on this topic because I'm not quite young question. You see, when I went to Cambridge first as a professor and then afterwards in 2009, and my work at that time I tried to develop an argument against the School's view of the development of science. I try to argue a kind of view, but I have difficulty because once you accept the idea of scientific root theory, you have to accept that there's a very big shift. And how can we establish as a continuity between different paradigms if we accept the idea of order and accumulation? So accumulation cannot be achieved at the level of the entity in the sense of Aristotelian natural kind, but it's something different. So in the study of the system field theory from general relativity, quantum field theory to gauge theory, I find maybe the continuity not lies in the entity, in the Aristotelian sense, but more in the sense of structurization, encoded in the entity. So then afterwards, of course, I developed my own version of the structural realism. That is very different call it a structural realism after development. It's a considered to defeat. We cannot ever know what is underlying the structural relation. You cannot know the end, even though they don't say that no entity underlying a positive structural relation. Thus, I cannot accept. Then, of course, article of course, I relate to expressions and the calculating. I accuse them are true. On the one hand, we can interpret their article as a kind of a phenomenon, or they can accuse them of a pattern, but they reject the both of calculation. But I don't think if you have the article, you have to accept the absurdity. You have to accept the existence of relation beyond the data. You think that the structure are just the ultimate autonomy. What supports the existence of the structure? You can never get it. When the step gets existed, then there's a lot of problems, physical problems, case problems. I cannot go to the details. Then, in order to argue against them, of course, I have my own version of structural reality. Some people in their book review argue against it. There's a tough structural reality actually is the anti-structural reality, because ultimately the intangible gets to the end. Of course, I use structural reality to argue that the reality of structural relation. This is the step for the reconstruction of the end. Then people would argue that your structural reality is only a disguised version of the old-fashioned entity reality. I said, no, that's different. Why does this different? Old sense of entity reality is a reality about the entity based upon the Aristotelian kind of natural kind. The entity is there. But my entity is subject to the historical reconstruction again, based upon accumulation of the moral or structural relation. All these structural relations involve these entities. So this is a historical evolving, constructive entity. The most important thing for the construction of the historically constructed entity is structural relation. So I think that what we can really get the grasp with is the structural relation. But whenever this structural relation always involves some entity, this involves the constitution of the entity. But this constitution itself is not a fixed one for all. This is not for all. So that's my constructive version of structural reality. I'm still struggling with my colleagues for their they don't accept life. So that's my
Well, you've done very important work with various people, Laurie Brown and Sam Faber and so on, and I think you're rather scornful of the amateurish philosopher that don't really understand exactly what's going on. And would you make a comment on that?
comment on what?
On the fact that certain rather amateurish philosophers of science talk about technical things in quantum field theory, whereas you go very much into the detail of it in your own work.
Yeah, I this still have to be debated with my view on the structure, because I find that the discussion of the deep philosophical fact like the structure is you have to base upon the real scientific development. So I use, for example, my book on content algebra to the quantum chromodynamics. These developments itself vindicates, illustrates my idea of the structure was of continuity. Then on the way, this is a historical step illustrates the first point. On the way, I have to also address many conceptual issues in the physics itself, and many practices in physics itself. So I have worked closely immediately I contacted with the belt and all, and this is with the start swear. I have some that's my way of different from one many
Yeah.
of my
Well, could you just say which philosophers you mostly admire? Do people like later Rob Clifton and John Ehrman and so forth? They do rather technical things. Have you learned from them a lot?
I see. Yeah, I get your point. Because my work is actually among the philosopher physicists, I'm a right. Because I did not work on the most fashionable parts of, for example, non-locality, their equality. All this is I did not touch it. Because I feel these questions are too fundamental. I don't, because I cannot see any conceptual source to build yes. Of course, I studied your book very hard, right? Even Jeffrey Bobbitt was and Rob Clifton's book. These are very close to me. I know, you know other people personally. I read that, but I find, can I find that I have some resource, some insight, so that I can get original content. Then very very seriously, I consider this while I was working with it. I did not do anything. So what the Michael did, what the Gary Butterfly is doing, I didn't know. I think this area I can get so I have to find my hobby. I really have to share. I really have the deep understanding. This understanding is many of my colleagues, I don't think they got that. So I can get something. So there's one point. I always choose what I think is the original to work on. To avoid some very fundamental
What
many words interesting, but what I think I cannot get I don't know.
Well, thank you very much. Very much indeed for all your thoughts and comments on that. And now I'm going to switch off in a moment, but I just noticed that the interview with Tian Yu Cao is ending now.